Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Eddie Marcus here again. This morning I heard on the telly that the discussion is giving Trump as a candidate for president the secrets that they usually pass along. And I'm thinking to myself, that sounds absolutely crazy to me. What Donald Trump has shown is that he is as dangerous as a pedophile. Now, you would not permit liberty and freedom to carry yourself amongst children, that being the case. So I'm asking you, here is a guy that's untrustworthy, and you want to put stuff in his hand that is very dangerous. All he has to do is do what he's not supposed to do. And he has given us all the indication that he will do just that. Now, some of us may say, well, he hasn't been found guilty. What do you mean he hasn't been found guilty? The man has been presented himself guilty right before our very eyes. Donald Trump has presented himself guilty, not about everything. Some stuff got to be brought out. But there are certain things that has been done right before our very eyes. First of all, why in the world would you have a guy that calls himself president of the United States when he's inviting your enemy into your house and not telling you anything about it and doing everything he possibly can to make sure that you don't even know what's going on? And 300 million people sit back and say, well, some of the people say we got to do it, so we're going to go along with it. Sound like a fool. Well, that's why God loves you. Because the truth of the matter is that all human beings on the face of the earth are just that, fools for not trusting the power that is the power. We're not the power. We're just a branch trying to run the show. Everywhere we're trying to run the show. It doesn't make any difference about what color you are. Everywhere there's some color trying to run it. It doesn't matter what your ethnicity might be. Everywhere, wherever that is represented, there's somebody trying to run the show. And every last one of us are stupid for following it. You say, well, we don't know. Well, why not? Why don't you know? Somebody said to me a long time ago, you only put your hand in the fire once. Why? Because it teaches you something. Somebody told me you don't mess with ice cream because if you eat it once, it's going to be hard to put down. But you got choices. These things tell us something. So what we want, we have to recognize what is required to get it. We want peace. Well, we must recognize that justice is absolutely important. Not only that, it's a very easy matter. Someone says if you respect the power that is responsible for everything you can, as a human being, can identify or have any contact or relationship or understanding of, if you can accept the one that is responsible for that and love yourself so doggone much, respect yourself so doggone much, require respect for yourself so doggone much that you're willing to do the same thing for everybody else, to respect them, because they are a part of that creation. They are just like the trees. Every last one of them important. They are like the blades of grass. Every last one of them important. Every last one of us. Every last human being is important. And that power made it possible so we can live just like that, as if we were in heaven. That's not what's happening. Somebody got the wrong message. Somebody got the message that since they couldn't see God, then they will be God. And in being God, they're going to make sure they own everything and determine who gets what, when, and where. And going to make sure that you do what is required of you or of them to do. Why? Because if you don't, you're going to be punished. And if you don't do that, they'll kill you. That doesn't sound like a hostage to me. That sounds just like hell to me. And anything else in between is a bunch of junk. It's a con game. To see people got jobs and nice cars and riding around having a good time, to me is a con game. To me, it's still nothing but hell. How come I say that? Why do you say that, Brother Marcus? Why do you say it's still hell when everybody's dreams seem like it's coming true? Because there are so many people's dreams that don't even have them. Sleeping in the streets, hungry, starving, stealing. No, you can't tell me that. That's no heaven. Ain't nothing heavenly about that. Yes, that's deception. Why I say that? Because if you can ride around and enjoy that fantastic, wonderful life, and get on your knees, thank God about it. And these people out here, you can't even see any type of understanding that would drive you a different path, that would affect the system in such a way that these people who are found down here losing can win. Oh, you ain't got no God in you. That's all a game. That's a game. You've been tricked. You've been hood whooped. Yeah, that's what it is. Because I guarantee you, if anybody down here cared about everybody down here, there would be some peace down here. There would be some justice. There would be some freedom. There would be some joy, and there'd be some happiness. And people would be living their dreams. If just a few people. You remember the story about they were going to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah? And I think it was Abraham was praying, said, Lord, if you can find just this many that's good, can you let them survive? Well, I also heard somewhere they said the flood. I mean, it's a lot of, I just assume, ladies and gentlemen, let's imagine you, wherever your station in life is right now, imagine that you had your station in life back there in that day. Whatever was, you could equate with what you do now, could then, let's say you were there and feeling just like you feel, got it all together, and the flood came. And you were got. It didn't matter how much you thought you had something going on. You didn't. And when we see all of the signs, ladies and gentlemen, of what's really going on, it tells us that we don't have it going on. And my job here today is to tell you that we don't have it going on. I thought it was sickening. It is sickening for the American people to be saying we want Donald Trump based upon a lie. Everybody in the world knows Donald Trump lying. And the people who agree with him know that he's lying. And as I said, if he is, let me just back up a little bit. If he is not trustworthy, then all of those who follow in that lie are not trustworthy either. And if they are your representatives, I don't care what state you're in, you know what's going on. And if you hear your representative run his mouth lying, you should tell him to shut up. And if he doesn't shut up, you should make sure you pull him out of there. Well, no matter what you're going to do with these liars. And that is what's going on. You leave them right there. You leave them right there. We saw those senators. We saw those House of Representatives. We saw how they responded. And they're still right there. Still right there. Still right there. Don't give a heck about the masses. And the power that be. Which is them. Look at the Supreme Court. You saw what they just did. You think that's fair? Some of you do. Others of you don't. Now, I want you to tell me, what is the Supreme Court supposed to be about? Making sure that the law works, making sure that whatever exists gonna hurt some people and benefit some. What is that? What kind of justice is that? Well, bring it to the Supreme Court. Supreme Court make a decision. Piss these folks off and make these hair happen. You see? There's nothing gonna be fixed. Why? It's nothing designed to be fixed, not in hell. Everything is just switching it around. It reminds me, and I'm gonna sit down. It reminds me of something I heard about in South Africa. You know how we got the message about South Africa? I don't know if it was true, but they used to tell us years and years and years ago, we never heard anything beautiful about South Africa. If you were black, you did. You heard nothing but ugly stuff. You were scared of South Africa just by the stuff that you heard about South Africa. And then times passed, and you saw people living in shanty towns, towns that are made out of tin, a piece of cardboard and stuff like this, Times were hard, very hard. Mandela and a lot of people got involved in stuff like that, trying to bring about changes. And so, to make a long story short, it appeared that after all of the effort, they did bring about some changes. But now I was reading and studying something, it was a long time ago, but I remember the message. Things were changing. They were talking about equal opportunity. And this was very important as it was here in the United States. They were now doing it over there in South Africa, making sure that some black people can come on out of those whatchamajiggers and life can change for them. But here's the killer, is that what it meant was this. It's like going over in Shantytown, taking out 10 families and bringing them over here and setting them up in a situation where life was better. And taking 10 families over here where life was better and taking them over there and setting them up in Shantytown. What the hell was that? But that's how the systems of the world operate. They're not trying to fix anything. They just put the illusion. And once you get a little bit of some smell good, you think that it's working for you. It's not the best, but it's gonna get big. It's gonna get greater. That it's gonna get greater is a lie. It ain't designed to get greater. It's bull. God wants you to know there's only one way. You got to straighten your stuff up. You got to straighten your stuff up. And I don't care how much and what games you trying to play. Ask Donald Trump. I was looking at Donald Trump when he was a younger man. Donald Trump was kind of handsome. I ain't gonna try to deny him that. He was kind of handsome, but he's ugly as hell now. And I can imagine how being rich, having access, and just the world has told us what it's like when you're like that and nobody can control you. You do that kind of stuff. You ain't doing nothing but creating monsters. And so we know, ladies and gentlemen, we've seen one right before us. And ain't no need of trying to wonder if the next person gonna be any better. No, fix the stuff. If you leave the opportunity for somebody to screw over you, they gonna do it. Close the door. That's what heaven said. You ain't coming up there. You ain't coming. If there's a heaven someplace else, you ain't going up there. The door is closed to you until you, I'll tell you like this, until you got the key. Now what that key is, some people think different things, but you ain't going up there until you got the key. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'll leave it there. I want to thank you so very much for giving me these, your 12 minutes. Until next time, Eddie Marcus saying goodbye for now.